Welcome to SRPG Plus. Today, I, Diesel D, first name Diesel, middle name D, last name Engine, and
Kappa to the Kai. Kappa Kai, what's up?
we want to just give you some time about some new news that's going on with the Switch and other gaming news that's going on. E3's coming up really soon. We got a lot of stuff coming up, as well as the gaming convention. You know, there's a whole bunch of new stuff that's coming out. We want to talk about and just give our thoughts out there today.
Yeah, what do you want to start with?
I think that the best thing to start with would be probably the first thing that's hopefully going to happen is at the gaming convention with Google.
Okay, GDC, Gamers
Yeah.
Developers Conference. That's going to be, with Google entering the, so with companies like Google and with Amazon, when they do things like this, I kind of get worried. Because it's like, you already own YouTube, Google. You already own the #1 web browser that anyone cares to use. Telling someone to just Google it is an actual saying in our language. That's like people just say that. Like that's so weird for them to also be making games. Like if they're making games, they already have the Google Play Store. Like they already have such a huge market space, millions of cell phone users. It just makes me worried. It honestly makes me worried. They could make some cool stuff, but it's kind of weird.
Honestly, yeah. I think that with just a new company coming into the console market, they have a lot of money, and they can throw a lot of money on what they're doing. And with just like the patents that were coming out and all the information about the specs of the console and things like that, it sounds like they're gonna put a lot into it and make it even better than the Xbox One, which. I mean, with all the buzz about new consoles coming out, I feel like a lot of consoles are going to start, going past where they have been before, so...
Oh, excuse me.
I think that when it comes to just better specs, I feel like the next-gen Xbox and the next-gen PlayStation will probably outdo whatever Google's doing. But they're going to probably try hard, and, I mean, they're going to have the streaming service as well, and I don't know if that's going to be if you can use that only on Google devices, which would probably make the most sense. But I feel like that is definitely going to be, for sure, that streaming service with Google. That's going to be a fact. And when it comes to the console, if it does come out right away, and they talk about it right away, that's insane. Just that they just drop themselves in the market that quickly, and they're just so ready to hit the ground running. And hopefully there's something exciting that we see out of them. I know that it sounds like they've partnered with like Sega in the past, and if they do something with a company like that in the future, and they make like exclusive games, they may try to put themselves in the market, kind of like Epic doing what Epic's doing, which is
that's horrible
it's
too.
Cancer. Yeah, it is cancer, and that's probably what they're gonna go for sure. But like for them to get into the console market as well is pretty fucking crazy.
You know what'd be cool?
Don't want to buy one.
You know what'd be cool? If Google backs like Sega, and they made like a Dreamcast too.
Okay.
If they actually backed an actual gaming company.
If that was a console that was just backwards compatible with like any Sega product. And
then had new games coming for it from Sega, like they were really pumping stuff out.
Well, they would do. I could see that something like that happening, or even
bro. This is why I say this, bro. So many Sega games, like people love Genesis, Saturn, and fucking Dreamcast games. There's so many games that ran super well on there, but also just the fact that like. There's no Panzer Dragoon series. That's practically a dragon riding Star Fox game that Sega had, and it was competing with them at the time. And those games are super rare now. People like really love those games. There's Shining Force, one of the best series of SRPGs. And then like whenever they competed with Nintendo, some people liked the products that they made better than Nintendo. Like when I grew up, we had a Genesis in our house. Like I didn't play NES and SNES games until like the Wii, on the virtual console, and then just diving back more with ROMs. Unless it was an RPG, then I might have already played it.
I had a Super Nintendo growing up, and when I was like a younger adolescent, I definitely wanted a Genesis more and wanted to play Genesis Game & Watch because they had different games on there, and I feel like
the Aladdin game.
Yeah, I like the SNES Aladdin game more than anything, man.
But one person really prefers the Genesis one, right?
Yeah.
So it's like either or, and it's like Google. Will they be in the console? Like, I'm just worried that they're gonna be another company that's really into microtransactions, and
that's so bad.
Microtransactions and digital only content.
That would be so crazy. They're gonna have it so that every game has the same Google currency, and you can use it from your Google Play account. You don't even have to worry about switching games.
Yay! I can play. Well, I can already play Final Fantasy Tactics on it because I own it on my phone through Google Play Store.
Jeez.
And I already got Final Fantasy 3.
Well, you can use Remote Play with the PS4 now, though.
Ooh.
On your phone, so...
I don't... It's... That... Okay. Like, do you want to talk about that? Yeah. Because that just happened, and I got some thoughts about it. But do you want to just say your piece about it first?
I think that with Remote Play, I've never used it. I think that, streaming that information is just a lot of work, but, to be able to do it is cool. I don't picture myself ever going through the hassle of doing it. However, if you wanted to, if you had a nice tablet, there might be, opportunity if you have good service and everything like that to actually get it going. But I feel like you'd have to put a lot of effort into doing something like that, because I would want to do it, like on the go and everything like that. So you'd have to, have like Wi-Fi to stream all that, and
then what's the point?
Exactly. Just plug it in. Just plug in the console. Exactly. It's easier.
The thing I just don't get about all this streaming services with games, it's like we don't have good enough internet in the United States of America to actually access that. In the United States, we have practically 3, maybe 4 on a good day cable and internet providers. Like Comcast, Xfinity, CenturyLink, Time Warner, anything else. It's like, and where I live, they don't really offer great fiber optic, high-speed internet. Like, the stuff you get is decent, but it has trash upload and download times. Like, yeah, it's good for streaming, like, shows, but as gamers know, streaming actual video games is way more demanding on Wi-Fi. And does the United States have the capacity of somewhere like Japan, where they already have Resident Evil 7 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the Switch in Japan because their Wi-Fi is so good that they can stream it on there? It's like, can we do stuff like that? No. Like, people playing PlayStation 4 on their phone is cool as hell. That's technology making cool advancements and stuff like that. But, like, okay, give people options. Give people options. I can't be mad at that. But I just don't like everything trying to be streaming. Because then we get to a point where I can't even, 1, buy something digitally, and then 2, not even buy it physically. Can I not even... And then when you buy it digitally, you don't even really own it.
Really? I mean, you're really right. And we're getting closer and closer to something like that. We're even hearing stuff about Xbox doing that with the new console. Oh, God, man. It's just all over the place when it comes to, like, the digital era. And, like, there's no collecting of video games anymore. There's no archiving of it. Like,
no manuals.
Like, I don't understand how people are still trying to do that. When it comes to that kind of thing, it's like, how long do you think PlayStation Network is going to be up?
Exactly!
For you to access these games.
Hey, you want to play Scott Pilgrim versus the World? Oh, wait. We can't. Because if you don't have a PS3 anymore, and if you don't already own the copy of the game on the PS3, you cannot play it legally.
I've had experiences losing Xbox accounts. And losing all of the information, all the gameplay, all the achievements, whatever.
What happened? Yeah, what happened with your Xbox account?
Nothing too big, just the hacked account. I didn't remember the password when I was younger.
Okay.
You know, I tried calling them, they wouldn't give it to me, kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Dang.
And but either way, I Either way, before that,
Robbed.
Before that even happened, there was games that I had bought on the Live Arcade that were not available anymore. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like, I remember there was a point in time when Drummond had, like, a bunch of games on his Xbox account. Like, none of them worked. None of them were available to play. It had, I don't know why. And you even had Xbox Live. It had nothing to do with that. So it's like, these games are just unplayable, unusable now. It's like,
and then people are like, yeah, that's what we want. What? It's like, I like my Switch collection because 20, 30 years down the road, yeah, I'll be like a grown man, but I'll still be a gamer, and I'll still want to play some of those old games that I liked a lot. I can still go back and play Breath of the Wild whenever I want. I don't have to worry about the Nintendo shop still being around. Didn't we just lose the Wii shop? Just like a couple months ago.
I can't even play my Persona 5 account without Ron's PlayStation account being tied to my PlayStation because he gave me Thanatos.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. If I load up any one of my files that I've played the game with because I had that Persona, I can't play it unless he signed in with that downloaded on my PlayStation. And it's considered his, primary PS4 as well. But I don't see him
using to the streaming digital age.
But hey, if I get Persona 5R on the Switch, which is very possible and very likely for something to come out soon, I definitely will just play it there.
True. Persona 5R, like, they're gonna have a conference soon. Atlas will basically explain what Persona 5R is. They already had like a little teaser animation that got a lot of people hyped, and they just gave a date for March, so you should be expecting that soon. How likely do you think it is that we'll see Persona 5 on the Nintendo Switch within 2019?
I think we need it. If I have to play Persona 5 on the PS4, I definitely am not going to put the time into it again. If I have to get a whole new edition, if it's like DLC, whatever, that's fine, but I don't want that. Like, if they're going to put so much hype around it, if they made P4 golden, like, they're obviously going to make a whole new Persona 5. And why wouldn't it come out on the Switch? I don't see why it wouldn't come out on the Switch. Like, whatever, there's been Persona games on Nintendo. I get that people are like, there's never been a mainline Persona game on Nintendo. Well,
now's the time. Cares? Final Fantasy just came.
Exactly. It's 2019. Joker's in Smash.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Who cares?
A bunch of people thought, just from that alone, they're like, oh, Persona 5 is definitely coming. And then, weeks later, we get announcements of Persona 5R. Like, that is like... I just want to say, yeah, that seems like so likely. And then, me, someone who got really into the game and played it for a few hours, but I just don't really like playing an RPG after you get the Switch, you realize that it's like, oh, I can play this wherever I want, so maybe I don't want to just play this in front of my TV. Maybe I want to play it, like, at a friend's house. Maybe I want to play it, like, laying down. Maybe I want to play it, like... in a group, like at a table, maybe on lunch break. And Persona is an RPG. It's super grindy, stuff like that. I as a kid always liked playing on my Game Boy Advance or DS. Like, that's where I played a lot of RPGs that were like remade for those consoles, or just continuations that were on those systems, handhelds. And that's where you could really play for like thousands of hours because you always had it with you.
I'm so excited, man. I think it's going to be a whole game on the Switch. I don't see why they wouldn't bring it to the Switch. I want to see what else they bring to the game. I don't know if they would add a female antagonist like they did in the remake of P3.
Oh, they did that?
Yep. Yes. But
so did they change dialogue around?
I don't think so that much. Maybe like with like romances and things like that. A couple of things. But like other than that, like I don't think it was that much different. And... there probably was a decent amount of dialogue changes because that's probably why they didn't do it for P4. And
okay.
They may not do it for P5 either. You never know. But hopefully there's a whole new like set of like things that you can do or personas. It's probably gonna be like just the same game, just really fleshed out, maybe with all the DLC content and things like that, which is cool.
Would it be unlocked just like free?
Probably.
Okay.
I would hope so.
Yeah, like all those costumes like that even branch out to SMT games, right?
Yep, and you get the music for them too when you put the costumes on. So
that's really sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's really sick. Yeah, Persona 5 should definitely come to the Switch. I double-checked just now, and it looks like the announcement is just for March. I'm guessing it's going to be towards the end of the month. Well, at least it didn't give me a date on the article I just looked at quickly. But I'm really excited to see what they announce. I hope it's not just for the PlayStation 4 and it comes to the Nintendo Switch.
It's coming out on the Vita. No, I'm just kidding.
Rip Vita. Rip Vita.
But another thing that's coming out, rip Capcom, rip Resident Evil for the Switch, that's for sure. Because I have to pay $30 for each copy of Resident Evil, and I don't even get a cartridge for Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 1. I only get it from Resident Evil 0. I'm probably not going to get these games. I honestly don't think I'm going to get any of these games.
You're getting Resident Evil 4.
No, it's right here. I have it right here on my PS4. I don't need to play it on the go. I don't.
Yeah, you'd want to play it on the go.
No.
The next time you boot it up and this is out, you'll be like, oh, I could just play this on my lunch break at work.
No. I would be totally fine with just playing it on the PlayStation. I think
it wouldn't look any different.
No, it wouldn't.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm not buying it again.
Okay. What if they add stuff, though? They definitely will.
Like Nintendo stuff, that'd be super sick, and I might...
They may add Nintendo stuff, but they always add, like features with the Joy-Cons and using the IR sensors and stuff. They did that with Revelations.
I'll consider it.
No, I feel that.
Right now,
I'm definitely getting, since it's going to be physical, I'm getting Resident Evil 0, so I can get the download for 1, because that's the one I actually want to play.
And that's $60.
I'm gonna get it at Best Buy 47. Hey. 47 Club. Till September of 2019. Rats. But I've seen, like, I've never played and beaten a Resident Evil game. I have tried them at friends' houses growing up, and 1 and 4 and now 2 have really piqued my interest, and I'm definitely gonna play the 1 remake. Because that's the one it is. It's the HD remake for 1, right? That they're releasing digitally.
Yeah, I would definitely consider playing that. Anyone who's never played an old school Resident Evil game, I would consider playing that. And if they want to play like a new Resident Evil game, I would definitely just consider playing Resident Evil 2 remake, because that game is so good. And Resident Evil 4, of course, so you know what it's like. But either way, man, Resident Evil 1 HD remake is a fantastic game. I wish they would have done more HD remakes like that, but I also am excited to see if they do anything in the new vein of Resident Evil.
I think there's rumors that they're doing 3.
Yeah.
Like they did it with 2.
Yeah.
So they're eventually going to do 4.
No, they're eventually going to do Code Veronica.
Is that a good game?
Yeah, that was the original Resident Evil 3.
Oh, what?
Yep. It was like something where
Nani?
Resident Evil, they wanted a quicker game to come out, a faster game to come out, so they made Resident Evil 3. Because it was just like a quick game where it was all that action, just fighting Nemesis essentially.
What?
Yeah. And then Code Veronica's like you go like into like this even like deeper umbrella.
Is that why some people call it Resident Evil 3 Nemesis?
That's what it's called, yeah.
What?
Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
But then what's
Resident Evil Code Veronica is called Resident Evil Code Veronica X. And it's on the Dreamcast, and I think it's on... I don't know if it's on the PlayStation 1.
Back to the Dreamcast.
But it's definitely on the PS2.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of people love that game on the Dreamcast versus like whatever other version it was on. And I think that I played that game on the Xbox Arcade, but I thought that was like one of the best plots for a Resident Evil game. And I definitely would want to see that game remade in that vein, because they do a lot in that game. They like get on like a helicopter and go to like another base and stuff like that. It's like crazy.
Oh, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. And speaking of the RE engine, people have really been praising Capcom. Because, that was us just shitting on their prices. Because they're like, the cartridges are too expensive, so we're going to give you 16 gigabytes and then charge you for anything else digital. and then we're going to charge you $60, even though the last game we sold you, Resident Evil Revelations, came with 2 games, it was $40 instead of $60. But we'll just leave that. Because people have been really praising Resident Evil for their RE engine. Devil May Cry also runs on it.
What?
People,
I didn't know that.
And people have been like,
I know
people have now been reviewing the game and they
good.
fucking love it.
Yep, I've been hearing that.
And people are like, oh, they need to bring the RE engine to the Switch, and I agree. Because isn't RE 7, 2, and now DMC in that engine?
Yep. I wouldn't know anything else in that engine, though.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty newer.
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting to see, man. Capcom's coming up, man. Street Fighter, the next Street Fighter is going to be in the RE engine. I'm just kidding. But you never know, man.
You do never know. Mortal Kombat's in Unreal. That's funny. Yeah, but, like, you do kind of got to give some props to Capcom, because, like, I'd say just in 2017, a bunch of people were pissed off at them because of a Marvel Capcom Infinite and then Street Fighter V Arcade, even though they promised that they wouldn't release DLC for the game. And then sold you another expansion, like, game. Like they fucking always do. But, yeah, it's like, with the graphics and the actually good gameplay of DMC and our Resident Evil 2 recently, just like, what, a couple months apart? And then Monster Hunter World last year, which was the best graphic-looking Monster Hunter in an age where everybody cares about graphics more than actual gameplay. It's going to bring a lot of newcomers in. It's a lot easier to get someone to play Monster Hunter after looking at Monster Hunter World versus any of the previous Monster Hunters, besides maybe the first one.
That's most definitely true. I think that Capcom is on some whole new levels right now. You know, they're definitely coming back from where they were, and I just hope to see. I want to see new fighting games from them that actually have a lot of potential, and that's really what I'm looking for when it comes to new Capcom games. Of course, with Resident Evil as well, one of my favorite franchises, and with Devil May Cry 5, you know, I think I need to pick that game up and try it out because it definitely has a lot of things that I want to see in a game, and just the fact that it's such an old school series that's doing so well, it's really good to see something like that versus, you know, something like Anthem that's bricking PS4s.
Bruh.
Like, come on, man.
BioWare, they're like, yeah, new BioWare game. Ooh, it's like the BioWare Destiny, and it's going to be a little different than Mass Effect, but also kind of still an RPG. Let's go have fun. Well, I got it on my Xbox, kind of runs trash, but, like, I'm playing it. Got it on my PS4, kind of runs trash, but, like, it bricked my PS4, and I can't play Kingdom Hearts 3 anymore, or Resident Evil 2,
Jesus.
or Apex Legends, like, and then, it got so bad that the actual companies are reaching out and, like, making statements about it breaking PS4s and stuff. That's so crazy, man.
It's honestly ridiculous. I think it's fucking ridiculous, the fact that just the whole game and just the whole experience of the game has just been malfunctioning so badly. I've even heard stuff about, like, just the stats of the game not even working out well, and I think that I thought that game was coming out, like, 2 years when they showed it out. The way they showed it at E3, they made it sound like it wasn't going to come out for, like, years. And it came out, like, I didn't even know it came out. It was just, like, out. People were like, oh, yo, have you played Anthem yet? I'm like, the game's out? I didn't even know it was, like, I thought it was going to take forever.
You want to know why you didn't know when it was out? Because EA released a chart of when you could play the game. They released a chart saying, oh, if you pre-order this version, you get to play it on this date. Okay, you pre-order a less expensive version, you have to wait a few more days, you play it then. And then there is also, if you play it through EA Origins or whatever the fuck it is, they're like, you can play it way before. Or if you play it on this, it had like 8 different release windows, bro. Like, though, everything about the game has been weird. Like, ever since they started talking, they showed the game off, people were hyped. Then they opened their mouths and started talking. Then they were like, Yeah, there's a $20 DLC microtransaction armor mech thing. What? Like, what? I'm already paying $60 for a game that destroyed my PS4.
This game is gonna expand forever. That sounds like a live service for a $60 game.
Oh god. So Destiny. So multiple versions of the same game that doesn't really improve too much.
Definitely.
Like, and then it's got terrible reviews. Like, I've heard people talk about it. They beat it. They didn't care. And I'm not a fan of those types of games anyway, so I'm not gonna play it. I'm just worried about stuff like that because of games that I do like Dragon Age. Yeah, they just teased the new Dragon Age, but what's gonna stop them from just canceling it and stopping the whole studio? Because it doesn't really work well.
It's sad to see, man. BioWare makes good games. You want to see companies do well, but
I don't
when
want to
it's
see EA do well.
when it's EA, man, you can't really expect anything.
I want to see BioWare do well, which in turn will have EA do well, but it's like, yeah, I'd rather just them succeed. But
I mean, Apex Legends is doing well, which is hilarious because it's like that game is taking away from all of the other expensive games that they're going to come out with, and I feel like they're just going to start canceling stuff and just start making stuff for Apex or making a story around this game and then just trying to sell it, and it's going to get bad, and then something else is going to come along and kill it.
bro, what? Like, what is up with the fad gaming, man? That's not fun.
It's not.
It's like, and then companies want to tell you that, oh, everybody has mobile phones. Oh, do you not have a cell phone? What Doom Eternal said to the guys who were like, hey, you making this for PC? Like, everything's going to mobile. Octopath Traveler is going to mobile. The prequel that looks raw as hell. And in my opinion, it looked like it was the 8 heroes that the classes that they took were based on. Because there's 8 heroes in this like lore which was in Octopath. And it seems like it's going to expand more on the lore of Octopath, which is what people wanted because they weren't satisfied with it. But and then when they say that, I'm like, okay, so then you didn't beat the game or get to the final secret boss, which there's a whole like boss rush that like explains the connection of every single story practically. So it's like if you say, oh, Octopath didn't have a good story, it's like, did you even beat the game is what my response to you will be. Because it had a pretty decent story. Like, not even, I wouldn't say decent, I liked the story a lot. Like, mainly like with the monster Red Eyes. I'm not going to spoil anything about it. Maybe eventually I will, maybe do a theory on it. But seeing this come to cell phones makes me sad. Like, I most likely will not play Octopath on the phone. I will hope... Well, they already announced that they are making a new game. Like, with that, a small announcement, it was like, yeah, we're still going to work on another game for consoles. So that's good, but... I don't like the trend of everything going to mobile. I really don't.
It's not fun. I mean, I can even see BioWare going to mobile, man. The way that they've been acting. Just... all these games, man, it's... I don't even know what should be a free service, what shouldn't be anymore. Is like, and that's like a weird thing to think about. And then there's like games like Dead or Alive that are $60, and then also act like they're free to play and have all these different services and a $90 season pass. So it's like, man, there's just so much weird thoughts. It's just a weird thought process when it comes to everything going on.
Yeah, you can't win for losing. It's pretty wild. Yeah, just these microtransactions are really yeah, because cell phone mobile games are littered with microtransactions. Our console games are littered with them. Before you bought a game, you got everything. All you had to do was just keep playing it to unlock it.
It's not like that anymore, man. And if it is, you have to grind so hard. There's so much of a commitment. And, like, if that's the case, like, that shouldn't even be the case. Like, it's like, I'm about to say if that should be the case, then it should be a free game. But it's like, those games aren't even satisfying.
Yeah.
They're made by the Canadian devil himself, bro. Literally. Fucking ridiculous. It's like gambling, but not even as... Well, fuck gambling, too.
Yeah,
Just
it's
play
worse.
Games, guys.
It's
Play
worse
games.
because it's like you always have your phone on you. You're not always in a casino.
True. That is true, because it's like, to have accessibility to something like that so frequently is not good for you.
And then it probably wouldn't stop there, because if you're gambling like that on mobile, like, just through gacha games and just trying to be the best, maybe even to make money on your account, you would probably also be playing fantasy sports. Because that seems like that would be right up your alley.
That is so funny. Man, I would not fuck with that stuff. But hey, man, it's
There's
a whole
market
different.
for it.
It's a whole different game field, man. But I mean, there's Hearthstone. People like Hearthstone. That's a nice game.
You can play it for free though.
Yeah.
You just have to grind hard as hell. And I bought cards, so yeah. So that's.
Oh man, well, you know, it's kind of like the arcade, bro.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
True. Because you can just be good in an arcade game.
And then, and then you just keep your quarter. Man, that kind of saddens me. Did we have anything else on our list of topics?
No. That pretty much covers everything that we were going to talk about today. You know, if there's any other things that are going on in the news that you guys want to hear about or hear us talk about, you know, let us know. We really want to hear what your opinions are, and we want to give ours too. So, you know, hit up the comments below, and if...
I agree. Yeah, this was SRPG Plus's first podcast. Name coming soon. Maybe SRPG Cast, Plus Cast, something along those lines. But thanks for checking us out. Listen to us vent and rant about video games, and just enjoy this hobby. But this was Kappa Kai.
Diesel D.
Thanks for checking us out. Peace out.
Yes, like